Let's get to let's set it up for everybody watching.
Every
that
holding
might not have been
call, I
watching
feel
the
like,
game.
is controversial.
Let's set it up. Chiefs throw an interception on a play in this drive along the right sideline. It seems like it is a interception for the Jets, and they're going to get an opportunity to come down the field and either tie it or win it in the fourth quarter. But lo and behold, flag on the ground. And I think what Jake is referencing is that the flag came out, what some are saying, and by some, a lot of Jets fans are saying, a little late. Do you agree that the flag
I've seen
was
late
late,
calls
Travis?
my entire life. I've seen late calls my entire life. What do you mean? I've been a part of calls where the play feels like it's over and I still get called for it. If you're arguing whether he threw it late and whether he waited till the intercept, that's one argument. If you're arguing whether or not it was a hold, that's where you clearly see the man's arm across Marquez's face holding onto the opposite shoulder.
Okay, he leaned into him with all his weight.
It was a bang-bang situation, but if you're a ref, look behind Sauce.
Well, bang-bang is supposed to not be a penalty, right? Bang-bang is like, they use that to say not a penalty usually.
I've never heard that.
That's what they say. It's a bang-bang play.
I was saying bang-bang because it just happened quick.
Yeah.
If you see strain and somebody getting restricted with the guy's arm across his chest holding the back of his shoulder pads, it doesn't matter if it's bang-bang or not. If you give the ref that, you can't give the ref that. You know what I mean? Like, you can't put it in his hands to be able to call that. You know what I mean?
Because I'm so glad you brought this up. Because on 3rd and 22, Jermaine Johnson is waving at the ref being held by the offensive.
Let's not bring offensive line. That's not
unfortunately got
you can't just go like this and get a holding call. I thought that was nonsense. Let's not go. We don't need offensive linemen getting put on the map here. Let's stick to the points of hand. Let's stick to the point of hand. Reverse it, Travis. Chiefs are on where the Jets are at. Is that a hold? How many times is that happening to you on every play? Just a question.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like they just weren't playing that much man. But if you get a good defensive, like they're calling man a lot, situations like that are going to happen all throughout the game. And I'm not sure if it was a quote unquote makeup call from what had been happening the entire day. This is why we just need to interview refs. I would love to hear the refs talk about this.
It's not a bad idea. I did see Dean Blandino.
I just want to hear it. Like, whether it's right or wrong, it already happened. I just want to hear his thought process so that I know I can stay out of that situation the next time.
I did see Dean Blandino.
Who the fuck is that guy?
A very well-regarded former official and knowledgeable on officiating NFL analyst.
What did he say?
He said that it was clearly a hold. I'm not going to lie.
What does he know?
My biggest problem with it is that even though it's certainly within the realm of being called a hold, I do not like when officials call questionable things at the end of games. That's all I'm going to say.
I'm with you on that. I think let the guys play through.
In my opinion, it should be a clear, blatant foul, which this was right on that border.
Clear, blatant foul.
Right within 5 yards of the line of scrimmage. Dude's holding the flag.
It was past 5. It was a little bit.
You could saw. He was like fucking reaching for it. He tied his belt a little too tight.
It was in his hand. He had it out. Zach Wilson was more decisive with his throws on Sunday night than that ref.
So let's get to that. As a Jets fan, what are you feeling after? I know you're not happy with the way the hold went. What are we feeling about Zach Wilson? Is the optimism back for Jets fans?
Yeah. I mean, I've just been on a roller coaster ride this entire season, but if he plays like that, like Robert Saleh said, we're going to win a lot of games. So very excited to see him play like that at the end of the season. I think to your point, and Jason, I'll speak to you and some Eagles fans here. I think we're just sick and tired of some late game calls going for the Chiefs when teams could have, had the ball back and a chance to decide the game with the offense on the field. We just got to give the fans what they want to see, some offensive football.
Sounds like you guys aren't playing the game right, man. Well, that's all I'm going to say. That's a good pun right there. The game, all the ins and outs, baby. You got to play it right.
Tell them to throw the flag faster next time.
All right, listen up. Okay, Jake, you've had your time. All right, thank you for joining us, Jake.
Everybody, shout out to Jets Jake, baby.
Hey, Jets Jake.
We appreciate you guys, and Sauce, thank you.
I think Jets Jake had a number of points that I think Eagles. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, there was late holding call keeps the drive alive for the Chiefs, and then they take a kneel at the 1 and just run the clock out. Listen, it's the same thing as when James Bradbury got called for the hold. It's if you're going to do it and you do it, there's always a chance that he gets called. I will say, in general, and I remember talking to Gene Steratore after we played in the Super Bowl against the Pats. His whole emphasis was not to make an impact in the game if he didn't have to. And I think that's what officials should be trying to do. Dean Blandino thinks otherwise. He thinks you just call the game the way you normally call it.
Yeah.
I'm not a favor of that. Let the boys play, ref. Let the boys play.
Yeah. Until you got a guy literally on your back and you're trying to make a catch.
Well, that's when you call it, though. It's got to be egregious. It's got to be egregious.
I'm with you. You just have to, in my mind, you just have to not put it in their hands.
I think that's a good way to say it.
You know what I mean? Just don't even put it in the ref's hands to make that fucking call. And you got to play that borderline of being physical and playing smart in a situation like that, because those calls are detrimental, man. If you do get hit with them.
I'm with you.
I've been on both sides, baby. I've been on both sides.
You can't put yourself in the situation. And listen, a lot of people do complain about the Chiefs getting late calls that go their way and then winning the game. That's what good teams do. They capitalize on mistakes that other teams make. All right. So, I think that this is a little bit of a fallacy that the Chiefs get all these calls. You only remember it because they end up closing it out after these calls are made. There were other calls out the game that didn't go the Chiefs' way. There are the calls that there were things that didn't happen. It's just that, unfortunately, the Jets didn't capitalize quite as much.
That's football, baby.
Man, Robert Saleh was pissed. I don't know if you saw the game.
But I'll tell you what, man. I'm
not happy.
I went up to him after the game and I told him, Coach, that was a hell of a fight. Like, you do it the right way. You can tell that you're in it for the right reasons. You do it the right way, and I respect the hell out of that. He wasn't trying to hear shit I was saying after the game. He was still pretty fired up from how it ended. But I still wanted to make sure. Yeah, I still wanted to make sure you heard me say that. I got a lot of respect for that, Coach.
And I will say this, back to the officiating, dude. I am so tired of fans, of everybody getting upset at officials. We've talked about it last year. We had a game against the Commanders end on everybody complaining it should have been a face mask. There are going to be missed calls. There are going to be calls that go for you. This is the way the game goes. And the thing that really bothers me is when people like slow-mo clip something to prove that something happened. It's like, dude, the refs aren't seeing the slow-mo version. You know that, right? Like, this happened in real time. It's not going to be, it didn't happen. You didn't have 4 seconds and a slow-mo with a yellow circle to be like, hey, did you see that? Like,
yeah,
dude, I'm not interested in second guessing officials with slow-mo. I don't even like seeing it. I'm not going to lie.
Hello, everyone. I'm here to discuss this exciting video and hear what you thought of the content. The game between the Chiefs and the Jets was really thrilling, wasn't it? Chief D made an incredible comeback with only 7 minutes and 24 seconds left in the fourth quarter, and the Chiefs executed a classic Andy Reid long march play with 15 plays and 45 yards, burning all the remaining time on the clock. It was an intense match. That play, where they took a direct snap on third down and 1 yard to go, was really tense, don't you think? And Pat Mahomes' 25-yard run, which brought him to the 1 yard line to burn the remaining time, was a crucial moment. But, of course, we can't ignore the controversial call that happened. Jets fans are complaining a lot about it, and even Sauce Gardner expressed his opinion. What did you think of the referee's decision on that play? Do you agree with the holding call, or do you think the flag was thrown too late? Jake, a Jets fan, brought some interesting perspectives. He believes it was a clear hold and the referees should have acted differently. As Jets fans, how did you feel about this situation? Is optimism back for you? And what about the discussion regarding late referee calls? Do you agree with the opinion that they should let the players play more and avoid interfering with the game's outcome with questionable calls? Please share your opinions in the comments. And if you're enjoying the content, don't forget to subscribe to the New Heights Club's channel for more exciting discussions like this.